Coffee drinkers get more steps but also less sleep, study finds. CNN. Coffee is one of the most consumed beverages worldwide, but the pendulum has swung back and forth about its benefits and drawbacks. New findings from the small study published Thursday in the New England Journal of Medicine suggest both the upside and downside. Drinking at least a cup of coffee per day might make you move more but sleep less, and it might put you at higher risk for one type of heart palpitation. The big picture finding is that there isn't just one single health related consequences of consuming coffee, but that the reality is more complicated than that, said the study's lead author Dr. Gregory Marcus, a cardiologist and professor of medicine at the University of California, San Francisco. The great majority of research on the topic has been observational, meaning we just look and see what happens to people who do and don't drink coffee, which is profoundly limited by the possibility that there might be, maybe, some other characteristic that is driving whether someone happens to drink coffee, Marcus said. The only way to mitigate those potential effects was to conduct a randomized interventional trial to get a better idea of coffee's immediate health effect. The authors recruited 100 healthy adults who were aged 39 on average and from the San Francisco area. They equipped the participants with Fitbit to track their steps and sleep, continuous blood glucose monitors, and electrocardiogram devices that tracked their heart rhythms. Each participant was randomly assigned to drink as much coffee as they wanted to for 2 days, then abstain for 2 days, repeating that cycle over a 2 week period. On coffee drinking days, the participant got an average of 1,058 more steps than they did on abstention days, the author found. But on days sleep took us hit with the participant getting 36 fewer minutes of shut eye. The more coffee they drank, the more physical activity and the less sleep they got. Coffee seemed to affect the heart too. Researchers found no evidence of significant relationship between coffee consumption and the premature atrial contractions, which are very common, only heartbeat that they all experience arising from the top chambers of the heart. Marcus said, they can feel like a flutter or skip the beat in your chest. People with more premature atrial contractions are at higher risk of developing a very clinically significant heart rhythm disturbance called atrial fibrillation, he added. But drinking more than one cup per day result in about a 50% higher incidence of premature ventricular contractions or PVCs compared with days of no coffee intake. These heartbeats arise from the lower chambers of the heart, and they can also feel like a skipped beat or heart palpitations. So, this provides some compelling evidence that experimenting with going up coffee might be worthwhile in those individuals who experience bothersome palpitations related to PVCs, Marcus said. There is also evidence that in some people, more PVCs can lead to a weakening of the heart or heart failure, Marcus added. So it may be It may be that if someone is especially concerned about risk of heart failure, such as they have a family history of it, or there's some other indication that their physicians tells them makes them at risk, they may want to steer clear of coffee. Peter Kistler, who is the head of electrophysiology at the Alfred Hospital in Melbourne, Australia, described the study as strong but concerned that this is a very short-term study in healthy volunteers. This provides no information on the long-term benefits or adverse effect of long-term coffee drinking, said Kistler, who was not involved in the study. This does not provide information on the impact of coffee in people with other health conditions, and generally the study participants consumed a modest amount of coffee. Health effect of coffee. When people drink coffee, they might have more motivation to exercise or have enhanced performance once they start moving, Marcus said. But people shouldn't extrapolate that to taking energy drink or high dose caffeine as the way to enhance workout, since high doses can lead to disturbances, he said. That coffee drinking lead to less sleep perhaps isn't surprising, but a potential genetic aspect that to that finding might be. Researchers collected DNA samples from participants and those who had greater reductions in sleep when they consumed coffee had a genetic variant associated with slower caffeine metabolism. People with genetic variants associated with faster caffeine metabolism, on the other hand, had more premature ventricular contractions. These findings suggest that the individualized approach to coffee consumption might be the most appropriate method for determining effect on health, according to the study. Kinstler had another view on the finding of diminished sleep. Coffee is most common drug for cognitive enhancement, he said. People who drink coffee are less tired. This is not necessarily a negative. Regarding the links between coffee intake and premature ventricular contractions, caffeine can contain active metabolites such as aminophylline, which is used in asthma medications and in high doses is known to induce arrhythmias, Marcus said. Additionally, coffee tends to increase activity in the sympathetic nervous system or the adrenaline side of the nervous system that can promote the PVCs, he added. What this means for you, the effect the study found are worth considering based on your personal health goals, Marcus said. Individuals can be reassured that there's certainly no imminently dangerous effect of drinking coffee, Marcus said. Wondering whether you're a fast or slower metabolizer of caffeine, there isn't really any clinical test in the consumer market, Marcus said. But you might be able to find out by using a DNA test that measures this. You can also pay close attention to what your experiences might be telling you about your tolerance. If you begin to feel anxious and tremulous on one cup of coffee, then they are slower metabolizer, Kinstler said by email. But if they have a higher tolerance, then they are metabolizing coffee or rapidly.